Hi, today we're going to talk about the central message of a story. So, what is the central message of a story? The central message is the part of the story that the author wants you to learn. It's the big idea that the author is trying to teach. So, when you walk away from the story, you have learned something that you can apply to your own life. So, how do I find the central message of a story? You need to ask yourself some questions. Number one, what is the problem in the story? So, what are the characters battling between? What's the problem that the characters have? And then number two, what does the character do about the problem? So, what actions are happening in the story? What steps are happening in the story? How are the characters responding to the problem? What are they doing as a result of the problem? And then number three, what does the character learn in the story? So this is where you're thinking about how the problem is solved and what the character learns from the story. And then lastly, what does the author want you to learn? So based off what the character learns, how does that apply to your own life? So let's check it out. Let's watch a video. It's called The Grasshopper and the Ants.
The Grasshopper and the Ants, an Aesop's fable with a focus on vocabulary. One warm spring day, a grasshopper was playing in a grassy green field when he noticed a line of ants marching along carrying some seeds. "Where are you going with that big load?" the grasshopper asked one of them. "We're taking these seeds to our nest," squeaked the ant. "But it's such a beautiful day," said the grasshopper. "Come and have fun with me." "No," said the ant. "I think you should come work with us. It's going to be a long winter with lots of snow. You had better start storing your food now." "Why worry about the winter? It's only spring, and there is lots of food everywhere," said the grasshopper as he chewed on a large blade of grass. All through the spring, the grasshopper did nothing except eat and sleep and play. He became quite fat. One day, during the summer, the grasshopper saw the long line of ants again. They were all carrying grains of wheat. "Where are you going with all that wheat?" the grasshopper asked. "We are taking it to our nest to save for winter," said one of the ants. "You should gather some wheat too. It's going to be a long winter with lots of snow." "I have all the food that I need right now," said the grasshopper. "Why worry about winter? It's still summer." All summer, the grasshopper did nothing but eat, sleep, and play. He became even fatter. One day, the grasshopper noticed that leaves were falling from the trees. Autumn had come. Among the leaves, he again saw the long line of ants, all carrying kernels of corn. "Where are you going with that corn?" the grasshopper asked one of the ants. The ant replied, "We are taking it to our nest to save for winter. You should gather some corn too. It's going to be a long winter with lots of snow." "That's too much work," said the grasshopper. "Winter is not here yet, and when it comes, I am sure I will be able to find some food." A few weeks later, winter came, and the snow began to fall. Just as the ants had predicted, the snow was very deep. This was not a problem for the ants, though. They were all snug in their nest with lots of good food to eat. The grasshopper, however, had trouble finding food. He was very hungry and very miserable all winter. By the time winter had ended, the grasshopper had learned a valuable lesson. It is important to prepare for the future. Moral of the story: work today for what you will need tomorrow. The end.
All right, so let's take what we learned from the grasshopper and ants and let's apply it into our questions that we talked about earlier. So what is the problem in the story, The Grasshopper and the Ants? Well, the problem in the story is that the grasshopper did not store up food for the winter. And as a result, he did not have food for the winter. And he was miserable all winter. He was starving. He didn't get to eat because he didn't store up any food. So now we know what the problem is. So what does the character do about the problem? Well, the grasshopper played all summer long while the ants stored up food for the winter. Even though they told him, he ignored what they had said. And when winter came, he went looking for food, but found nothing. So, what does the character learn in the story? Well, Grasshopper learns that he needs to prepare for his future and not ignore the help from others. So he realized for the next winter that during the summer and spring and fall, he needs to store up food. That way he won't go hungry. So he needs to prepare for his future. And then also when other people are giving you help, listen to them. So what does the author want you to learn from the story? I believe the author wants me to learn to not be lazy, to think about what I need to do and get it done. This way, I will have all the things that I need when I need it. So remember, the central message is what the author wants you to learn from the story that you just read. How are you going to apply the story into your own life?